Woo, what's up, people? What we gonna talk about today? We're gonna talk about that girl, Tommy Lauren. We're also gonna discuss Jesse Williams and the wonderful words he spoke at the BET Awards. And we're gonna break it down, systemic racism. Now, the BET Awards, young man by the name of Jesse Williams had some very profound words for people, for the establishment, and for black people on the whole. And I think it was needed. It was something that needed to be said. And I stand by every word he said. So it would come as no surprise that immediately he would get some backlash by the words that he said. And a lot of white people took umbrage of what he said. I understand why they take umbrage by what he said. They will argue that my narrative about this is wrong, but I'm very correct when I feel the way that I feel and I think the way that I think. Now, if you are not a white supremacist, nor have you attacked a black person out of anger or committed acts against black people per se, if you do believe in equality and things of this nature, and you have a level head, you know exactly who Jesse Williams were referring to, and you know that he was not referring to you, that you're probably a decent person and you go about your day respecting others and things of this nature. But what kind of people do we have that automatically take umbrage with someone speaking out against white supremacy? Now, we all know that some people like to have an understanding of the world, and some believe in plausible deniability, meaning they understand how the world works. They may not like racism, but they may feel it's a necessary evil. And you have these people who operate overtly to manifest this white supremacy. And here's my problem with that Tony person. Now, this Tony Lauren individual, she sees life totally different from the perspective of African Americans or black people or any person of color. Understand, there's never been one argument from her on behalf of black people, or, seeing the way that things are. She's unapologetic of the treatment of black people. She feels that every instance or situation pertaining to black people, whether it be brutality or unjust treatment, there's a logical explanation for this other than racism. So here's the one thing that I encourage people to try their best to become enlightened and become conscious about your surroundings and educate yourself on your plight of your people, because once you become conscious of certain aspects of people, you see through a lot of bullshit. People operate overtly, like Cecil Rhodes and Jim Crow and the woman who developed the Planned Parenthood thing. These people operate on the mindset of white supremacy, and they do everything possible within their power to bring about this utopia of white supremacy. So has people like this Tommy individual, has she, does she co-sign any of these things that these people laid the groundworks for? No. She hasn't said one word about it, nor will she ever say anything about it, because in her warped mind, she benefits from what these people's actions are. So, what more is there to say? Why would you argue with a person with this ideology? You can't argue with them. They already understand how things are. They want us to be at a certain level, and they want themselves to be at a higher level. And any threat of that, they have an issue with, and they're very vocal about it. So, anyone that would have an argument or anything negative to say about that boy's speech, the Jesse Williams speech, is either a facilitator of racism or incredibly naive and ignorant to what is going on here in America, period.